We are
fed once a day. We need more food.
For about 7 years now, we have been battling with the issue of armed bandits.
Government at all levels have continued to collaborate with security operatives, local vigilantes, and members of the public, especially the affected communities, all geared towards coping the menace. The state government says it is equally working tirelessly to provide support to the security agencies and complementing efforts of the federal government in ensuring protection of lives and property.
Over the last 1 year, we have seen, the growth and strengthening of our vigilante system that interfaces with the, conventional security, agencies, and this has been paying off in terms of really curtailing it, and that is not also undermined. In fact, the security agencies are doing very well.
The state government is supporting us. They are supporting us because most of the logistic need of the command is being taken care of by the state government, and also they are also supporting in terms of improving on the vigilante.
Our next stop is Lafia, Nasarawa State.
Nasarawa State has its own share of security challenges ranging from herder-farmer conflicts, communal crisis, armed robbery, kidnapping, banditry and rape cases, among others. This necessitates the need for government to build synergy with critical stakeholders for a robust security strategy to avert any breach of peace. The resuscitation of security committee at the local government level involving the traditional institutions in intelligence gathering and sharing, as well as peace building initiative of the state government, have yielded positive results. Stakeholders say the establishment of the headquarters of 4 special forces of the Nigerian Army in Doma and Mobile Police Training College NTA have no doubt assist in containing security challenges in the state.
503 special constables have been trained. We have deployed them. They are going to mingle with their people, and then we are going to make use of the community policing. People will be fully involved in their own security. Not that they will now be seeing security as something that is far off from them, that is narrow, but they will see it as their problem.
We train over 200 personnel on surveillance and intelligence gathering to enable us to have enough men. And as it was as a result of that we've mounted the surveillance. We've been arresting vandals. We extended our security outpost to ensure that we cover all the nook and cranny of the state.
The inauguration of community policing and the involvement of vigilante groups have also added value to the fight against insecurity. Security watchers say there is need for everyone to be part of the effort in containing insecurity.
This last report tonight is coming from Gusau, Zamfara State.
The relocation of the 1 Brigade headquarters of the Nigerian Army to Gusau, the state capital, coupled with a number of joint military actions, are some of the laudable initiatives of the government in addressing the prevailing challenges. The measures have obviously recorded a huge success, as hundreds of armed bandits have been neutralized and many others apprehended. Thousands of stolen cows were also recovered and a number of kidnapped victims rescued. Relative peace has been restored to all parts of the state, as clearly demonstrated by the revival of farming and commercial activities.
gaskiya mun samu ci gaba yanzu dangane da kasuwancin mu, jama'a sun hito cikin kasuwa. Allah bai da nan jonda ja. Allah bai da daukaka ke o gwamnayo.
The security in this place is very good. We are very happy to see this year.
Some of the latest moves by the federal government to consolidate on the successes recorded in that regard are the introduction of the Operation Sahel Sanity and the process of deploying 4 newly acquired CH-4 unmanned combat aerial vehicles to Zamfara State.
This is the first time in the history of Nigeria and indeed Nigerian Air Force that we are acquiring these platforms. And the whole idea is to add value to what is being done to ensure that there is security in the northwest zone of Nigeria and indeed in other parts of the country.
So we have to thank Mr. President and the two air staff for giving us this direct support in order to enhance the security situation in the state.
The military operations in the fight against banditry and other related crimes in Zamfara state is going hand in hand with the peace and reconciliation process of the state government, which encouraged active participation of community and religious leaders in the quest to achieve lasting peace across the state. The initiative saw the unconditional release of more than 1,500 kidnapped victims as hundreds of bandits embraced peace. The recent introduction and implementation of the community policing drive policy of the federal government through the recruitment of more than 1,500 constabulary police officers in Zamfara state is widely seen as a right decision that could assist in consolidating the achievements so far recorded in the area of achieving lasting peace in the state.
The report from Zamfara State wraps up reports tonight, and we just have a couple of minutes to go. Let me allow General Jibrin to quickly react to the tweet sent in by Kontagora regarding employment. Quickly, please. Don't have all the time.
Okay. The military, we have said earlier, requires large number of trained troops to be able to show strength and strong presence in all the areas of operation. The military is making effort to ensure that only the best are recruited in the military. There are too many youth who are interested in the military, but quite a lot of them do not actually have the interest of the military or the country in their hearts. Most of them, or quite a number of them, are job seekers. They just want a job, but the military job, the military profession is not only a job, but it's a sacrifice to ensure that there is peace and security in the country. So in order to ensure that, that's why this year, for the first time, I think the Chief of Army Staff came up with a strategy. After the usual screening in the state of all the recruits, these recruits 80, the recruits that were screened in the state, when they were carried in their various vehicles, they thought they were actually going to Depot NA to commence training. But no, there was something ahead for them. The Chief of Army Staff came up with a strategy whereby at Folgore Forest in Kano State, he created what I can call extended screening exercise, which is pre-depot deployment. So when they went there, only the best are to emerge among those to be selected. New medical examination was done, physical fitness training was done, and all the troops that came from the state after the screening there were subjected to this strenuous selection session to ensure that only the best were taken. And we found out that from the state screening, they have over 1,000, over 10,000 recruits were brought there. But at the end of the exercise, I'm sure they did not get up to 6,000, because all those who could not measure up this additional session of selection or screening that were brought in were actually dropped, irrespective of who brought you and from whose list you are. Nobody was allowed to cross the criteria that was set unless you qualified fully. So the military has done this one to ensure that all those people who are patched from here, there, no matter who you are, no matter who brought you, you have to pass through these extra miles. And that helped to shed so many people that would have just been taken to depot to do training. So we must give kudos to the Army for this innovation, and I hope other services will also copy it. because the remaining troops that will be recruited, they are supposed to recruit, I think, 10,000. So the remaining, another recruitment session is going to be done to select them, instead of just carrying anybody that show face at the state screening and manage to just scale through and then take to the depot. Because if the selection process is not done properly, if the selection process is done haphazardly, you are going to carry people who are not ready for the military job, people who are not fit for the military job to depot any. And that's why before the end of the training session in depot, a lot of them will fall by the wayside. But by the introduction of this Folgore extended screening program, it has helped the military so that all those who are not fit have already been dropped. Only the best and those who are fit are going to depot. This will reduce casualty rate in the training session. Only very few may have one or two problems, but only those who are fit will now go to depot. And it's going to help the military to ensure that only the best are there and those who are ready to sacrifice and put their life on the line for this country.
Thank you so much for the explanations there. Let's go to Dr. Adamu. Dr. Adamu, well, we don't have all the time. Let me allow the remaining team members and the panelists to just give their line of thoughts. We looked at the Nigerian Armed Forces and national security. Just a very brief way forward. Briefly, then we'll go to Dr. Abbas, then we conclude with General Temlong Injos. Quickly, please.
Thank you. My concluding remarks would be it's always good to evaluate where you are. Listen to the other side, and in the course of our discussion, some of the points that we have mentioned, the other side are complaining is, as an example, the alleged heavy-handedness of the military and the inability of the military to provide them the kind of protection they need. Now, that may not be the reality from the way the military is looking at it, so I think it's absolutely important that the military addresses this, and one of the best ways to address this is to incorporate the civil security departments into providing protection, especially inside the city centers, while the military stays in the outer areas. Now, the second point, which unfortunately has reared its head recently, is corruption within the military. We haven't addressed this, very well, but that issue still remains. You recall the general that was arrested not too long ago. The good news is that he was court-martialed, and I think it was clear that the military does not condone those type of actions. But beyond that, you still have those type of pockets of allegation. So it's absolutely important that the monitoring and evaluation, especially by the civilian component within the military, remember that all the services have civilian component. So there is a need to enhance the capacity of those civilian components for monitoring and evaluation, so that there will be an internal kind of auditing and review by the military itself, where there are infractions. Those infractions can be corrected. And then lastly, we've talked about winning the hearts and minds of the local population. Whatever action that the military is taking should be guided by this principle. When you are conducting an operation and you block a route, and that action is impacting negatively on the local population, then you need to seek an alternative. Likewise, when you close a market for 6 months and it's impacting on the local population, there should be alternatives. Then lastly, the rule of law. Unfortunately, there are several suspects that have been arrested in some locations by the military, and those suspects are yet to be tried. I think things like this will go a long way towards improving the relationship between the military and the citizenry.
Fabas, just take 1 minute and give us your closing thoughts, please.
If that can be done in 1 minute, but generally, let me say, first of all, the military, let me say, they are human beings like every other human being. So we have to put that into perspective. They cannot be sent to front lines without equipment. So I'm looking forward to a Nigerian military that is well equipped with modern arts equipment and gadgets that they all require. Simple drones, simple walkie-talkie, these are all required for them to perform their functions dutifully. I'm also looking at the proper coordination of the Nigerian Nigerian military, the Air Force, the SSS, and the rest, they need to be coordinating themselves. They need to work hand in hand. They should realize that they are working for Nigerians. They are serving under one commander-in-chief of the armed forces, so they have to solve all their differences and work together as a team to be able to address our current security challenges. Intelligence sharing is very, very important, and I think to address that gap in Nigeria, we have to understand, especially in the northeastern region, we have quite seen some successes in terms of rooting out Boko Haram within the communities in it, and this has been achieved by the activities of the civilian JTF. And I think the Nigerian army will have to do something more in terms of special recruitment for the people of the northeast. If really we have to win this war, you have to recruit the local populace who understand the terrain, who understand the culture, who understand the tradition, who understand everything that works around that place. And I think if you have more and more Nigerian military force recruited from within communities, we'll be able to address some of these issues. The training, we are dealing with insurgency, especially in the northeast, kidnapping and other places, is not the normal warfare that we know the Nigerian military are trained for. So we have to advance this kind of training to be able to cope with the current reality and challenges. The welfare is very important. I quite agree that the state governors will have to do more. The state governors are trying their best, I know, especially from where I come from, Yobe and Borno. I know the state governors are doing their best in terms of support, logistic and otherwise, but the federal government itself, who has the military, who is responsible for taking care of their welfare, have to do more in terms of payment of their allowances and salaries on time, in terms of doing all the support that is expected of the government. We also have to look into not just today but even tomorrow. We need to have something like the Veterans Fund or Trust Fund that will be able to address the families of those soldiers who sacrifice their lives, so that at the end of the day, the soldiers and the Nigerian military will be able to know, oh yes, even after I leave, there's something at least that can be able to take care of my family. If all this confidence builder is there, I think much more will be achieved, and we will have a more advanced and mechanized Nigerian military that will be able to address the current realities that we are facing in Nigeria. Thank you.
Let's go to just quickly and allow General Temlong to just give his line of thought just for a minute, because we don't have all the time. Please.
Thank you very much. Just to correct one or two things. There is a national defense policy that was signed by President Buhari in 2017, November. In that national defense policy, the concept of people's participation, citizens' participation in national defense was enunciated. The states have to go and get these documents. They are not secret. They are even online. The national security strategy, the counter-terrorism and counter-violent extremism strategy, the national defense policy, all these documents are available. The NEMA SOP, they are available. The states have to domesticate them, train, and then utilize them. I want to ask Nigerians to know that the armed forces, Nigerian armed forces, they do not own themselves. They are owned by Nigerians. They need the support of Nigerians, and Nigerians have to participate and help in making them succeed. If they fail, it is Nigeria that will be the loser. If they win, Nigerians will win. So the important thing is that citizens must all participate in national defense and national security. All of government approach to this situation, and all hands must be on deck to make sure that we succeed. And I want to ask the military to make sure that they respond effectively and properly to the yearnings and cries of Nigerians. They have been doing well. I wish to ask them to do more, and that they shouldn't be discouraged by some of the utterances and criticisms here and there. They should be focused and do what is right, and then end the situation to the favorable conclusion in favor of Nigeria. I want to congratulate all of them and to wish all of us a happy Armed Forces Day on the 15th. Thank you.
General Temlong, he joined us from Jos. It was nice having you on the program. Thank you so much. Now quickly to Dr. Gabriel Adamu and Dr. Ali Ibrahim Abbas. It was nice having you on Tuesday Live tonight. And finally to Major General Ahmed Tijani Jibrin, Special Advisor Technical to the Minister of Defense. Thanks so much for making time to be on Tuesday Live tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We looked at the Nigerian Armed Forces and national security. Thanks for your tweets and all the reports dotting the landscape of Nigeria. On behalf of all of us, bye-bye.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
NTA Parliament is a dedicated 24-hour channel that broadcasts activities of the Nigerian Senate, Federal House of Representatives, and all the 36 state houses of assembly. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.